Good morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, February 24th. Taking a look at precipitation for the past 7 days, had some of the best amounts over the higher terrain of west central Idaho and into parts of western Wyoming. The green areas indicate about a half inch, well below normal, indicated by the areas in red across our southern areas, 0 to 10%. No real areas of above normal precipitation. Snowfall the past 72 hours, again, confined mainly to the highest terrain of Idaho, where the golden shades, anywhere from 6 to as much as 12 inches of snow, a little bit less across Wyoming. You can see the snow cover on the map, most deep across, again, the higher terrain of the northern portion of the Great Basin. Moderate amounts here to the south. We can see how that relates to normal here, and basically no areas above normal. Here in the higher terrain of Utah and Nevada, basically anywhere from 80 to 90% of normal. Some places here in Nevada actually near 100%, and near normal across Idaho and western Wyoming, which has been the trend. So we've come up quite a bit in most areas in Utah, but the Tahoe Sierra Front area is still kind of a holding at about 70-75%, also below 70% in highest terrain in far southern Utah. Satellite imagery shows a trough of low pressure moving on in, some clouds through here, and not really deep clouds. So there could be some light precipitation, deeper storm system up in the Gulf of Alaska, and there is some subtropical moisture I'll have to watch later in the forecast off the Baja coast. Current fuels, 100-hour fuels, are quite dry across the southern portion of the Great Basin, southern Nevada, Arizona Strip, and far southwest Utah. You can see that golden shade is in the single digits. Even single-digit 1,000-hour fuels, of course, some of the highest terrain of far southern Nevada towards the Spring Mountains. Otherwise, in the low teens across the rest of the southern half of the Great Basin, but more moisture further north. Getting to the upper level map for this afternoon, and here's that weak trough of low pressure coming through, and some moisture, some light snow showers. We see areas in the green, of course, northern Utah, parts of the high terrain of Idaho, nothing significant. Much drier air pushing into California, into the western Great Basin. The wind flow will be kind of north, and because we're in that trough of low pressure vicinity and good winds, we have excellent overall dispersion. You can see that by the transport winds coming out of the north here, and speeds over 20-30 miles per hour. You see the orange shades, and excellent vertical mixing, several thousand feet above ground level. We see areas in the yellow. We're getting to that time of year where the longer sunlight starts helping us out in that respect. On Thursday, that weak trough moves into Colorado and New Mexico. Got a weak ridge of high pressure briefly building in, but a stronger low pressure system with moisture already pushing into the northern Rockies, into parts of Idaho. Pretty good dispersion for the most part on the right. Light transport winds, though, we see areas in the gray. That might be the only concern. Otherwise, increasing winds with that storm system up here in Idaho. Also some gusty winds in far southern Nevada and the Arizona Strip, mixing heights. Other than some isolated areas, pretty good. We see areas in the yellow to red to orange. On Friday, that storm system expands its moisture across the northern Rockies through Idaho, western Wyoming, far northern areas of Utah and northeast Nevada. Excellent overall dispersion with it. We probably will start seeing some precipitation with it. Very strong transport winds, 30 to 50 miles per hour in that purple to brown shade. Those winds will be eventually spreading further south. Excellent vertical mixing. Precipitation over the next 3 days. Again, half inch to 1 inch amounts. That could be 5 to 10 inches of snow across the higher terrain of Idaho, and somewhat less, maybe a half inch to a quarter inch, so maybe 3 to 6 inches across western Wyoming and the mountains of northern Utah. And on Saturday, that storm system spreads a bit further south, more into the northern two-thirds of Utah, and pushes still out of Idaho and into western Wyoming and clips northeastern Nevada. Again, excellent overall dispersion. That storm system weakens as it drives down into Arizona and New Mexico. High pressure building on in, watching a storm system slowly dropping down out of the Gulf of Alaska. Still pretty good dispersion. Wind flow will be more out of the north. And high pressure dominates. We should see a significant warming trend early to middle of next week. There'll be a deepening low pressure area off the coast. That low continues to deepen, and models differ with this solution. One thing most likely is through the middle of the week, again, high pressure dominating. We'll have to see what the storm system does and whether it picks up some of this subtropical moisture. If it does, some models are forecasting heavy precipitation for parts of the Great Basin moving up from the south towards the end of the week. The precipitation days 4 and 5, just lingering showers probably on late Saturday across the higher terrain of Utah, not significant. 8 to 14 day outlook, March 3rd to March 9th. You can see the cooler than normal temperatures here across most of the Great Basin, but also a drier than normal signal, normal to the south, indicating some of that moisture will try to get in. We'll see how the long range models play out with that storm system. Concludes our briefing. Next one coming up this Friday. Have a great day.